First, I want to say it's my very pleasure to be invited to come here so it's really honored to bring some information, some small information to the whole circular economy, or like I used to say, to the circular society, because without the people, it could not work that we can heal the planet. Let's see, like not so small problem, like we heard before from Seoul, that there is a landfill to get closed, and we need an incineration plant or waste to energy plant. I think I want to start with to widen the borders of the system and came to the same solution. First, I want the agenda is start with a better understanding about the 3 screens from the IPCC.
No, better? Okay. And the aim and the challenge in relation to greenhouse gas, some experiences from Germany regarding greenhouse gas, closing landfill, and I want to introduce the WTRT network, and then the closing idea about circular society, not circular economy. Okay, just to make sure that we are in the time of a global crisis, of a climate heating, we do not forget that our steps in developed waste management should be under the highest aim to reduce climate gas. These are 3 screens, not from me, screens from the IPCC. And the IPCC mentioned at the same time, it is essential to make rapid, deep cuts in greenhouse gas emissions to keep the maximum number of adaptation options open. In Germany, when we discuss about developing our behavior, it's the politicians and scientists say that it's not a change, it's something like a transition. We do not know where to go to, but we have to change in a real great big manner. And that's what we have now, is that in minimum of medium of the gas emissions per capita worldwide, there are 6.26 tons global CO2 equivalent. That's what we have to reduce. And what do you think, if I would say to you that's possible to reduce it by decarbonization down to 1 ton with a good, sustainable waste management? Just, I want you to feel this relationship, because waste management has a real good, expressive answer to climate change. This is a flyer of our network, Waste Management's Response to Climate Change. And we are looking for and bundling information how to do this. What our experiences in Germany are with waste management over the last 20 years. It is possible that 1 ton greenhouse gas emissions per capita can be reduced by closing landfill. And this is not scientific thinking, or it's just that we had this landfill ban on the 13th of June in 2005. And 5 years after this, all these are pictures from my work. This is because I'm a civil engineer. I'm the responsible by closing this landfill, closing this landfill. You see, this is on the area. This is closed. This is on the operation, and this could be the next one. Landfill, you see, it's very small against these landfills you have, in Asia, but it's just, the emission is the same. Let's see what happens after this landfill ban comes into reality. At first, we didn't believe this in these times, that the government makes this really true. And let's see, the original burden of the climate from waste management activities in Germany in 1990. That's what they found out in 5 years or 10 years, 20 years after, was around 38 million tons of greenhouse gas. And by 2006, after this landfill ban, this had changed into a relief of about 18 million tons, into a relief. So you have to add these two datas. Thus, by phasing out landfilling of untreated municipal waste, emissions of climate-damaging gases by the waste management sector have been reduced by a total around 56 million tons. This is only by closing all the landfills, but the landfills 1 year later aren't really closed, so the reduction goes on. This is another picture of a project where we closed a landfill. And let's see, the Federal Environmental Agency writes, after this, I think 5 years later, recycling, this is our German ministry, recycling, the use of residual waste for energy and landfill gas collection contributes significantly to the reduction of greenhouse gases. The biggest contribution, however, comes from preventing methane formation in landfills. So you can see here is Germany, about 70 million inhabitants. Where I come from is Munich, here in the south of Bavaria. And there is one I think, very expressive study, research work done by a company in Bavaria. And there's lots of numbers. I just came to the point in the last sentence. This scenario, it's the difference between all Bavarian waste goes to landfill, and that was in 2005 has happened. The scenario would have led to an environmental pollution of 9.58 million tons of greenhouse gas when comparing the landfill of all waste to the scenario without landfilling. The Bavarian waste management would achieve a reduction in CO2 equivalents of 13.2 million tons. The largest individual contributions result from energy recovery, again, in waste incineration plants, as well as from the recovery of scrap metal. So this is really good to keep in mind, because we have about 12 in this time, about 12 million inhabitants in Bavaria. So you can see it's about more than a ton of CO2 equivalents per capita year. So between landfilling 100% and not landfilling and use material recovery for sure, and also energy recovery, leads to 1 ton reduction of climate gas, greenhouse gas. This is the reference. You can read the whole text. So what we are aiming for in this group, I'm so proud to be here with Jiangxi Su, our head of WERT in Korea. We are bridging. Oh, that's great. Yeah, okay, thank you. It's just a reminder that I'm on the hub. What we aim for is to bridge the gap between these landfilling countries and sustainable waste management. And to bridge this gap as scientific means to go to a university to make research work and so. And for me as a knowledge worker, let's see like that, it is look for information from science, from scientists and from the people in the operation of landfill, in the operation of waste to energy plants, from people who aim to zero waste, all those protagonists who are in this world, how they reduce, reuse, recycle, how they develop tax instruments, what is, I think, most important, and how to make energy from waste, is that we have to bring their information together, that we have to ask them, that they have to understand them. We also have to understand the people who prefer bringing the waste to landfill. Maybe they only have no other idea, or they learned this. We have to see this this problem on a global level. And let's see what it is on a global level. This is very complicated. I don't want to go into this one. You can see it's indifferent. I prefer the words from Professor Temelis, our president of Global World Council from Columbia University in New York. He gave me these three parts. Recycled composting in worldwide are about 380 million tons. Waste to energy plants about 320 million tons worldwide. But worldwide dumps, landfills and waste dumps about 1.2 million tons, no, 1,200 million tons of waste. And if you see, it's another very easy to remind is that 1 ton waste to a landfill brings 2 tons global greenhouse gas per year, every year. So this means we have to reduce, and we can reduce without to change our behavior, just to change our way to work in waste management. We can change 2,400 million tons by a better understanding and awareness, and by a better treatment of waste. That's our aim. And what we do is we analyze, disseminate information on collecting the whole circular, and we do it with research work, with abstracts. You're really open and invited to come to this network, can join as an expert, can join as an interested person, and can bring in your expertise by research work and something else. And also I love to work with these best practices from the real world, the real operation world, because when this is a best practice from a town close to Munich, when you click on this, you can see the organization. When you click on the organization, you can see the people behind there, and you can come into contact with them. You can call them, you can drive to them. And this is also a really good information, because this is not only a waste to energy plant by incineration. They also have 100,000 tons for a fermentation plant, bio-waste in a fermentation plant, though they have 2 separate operations. And this is another in Vilnius, for one of the latest, for one of the youngest waste to energy plants going into operation. So you can see that we sample lots of very different. This is a transfer station. This is how to reduce food waste. It's very easy. It's just a research work from the University of Stuttgart. They just tell the people, when you make a conference like this and you bring food waste to the people, you give them to eat, just to show after the conference or after the party, what is left. Just to make this to bring this in your mind reduces, I guess 70% of food waste. And there are lots of examples. This is a diving station who spent cost-free diving lessons when they bring the waste from the sea back. This is how to make business with construction waste. This is an incineration plant in Milano. This is a center of WEEE in Nairobi. E-Waste, how they do it. You can click on this, you can see how they do it. And my dream is that we have all these information that all the people who want to make a decision can compare and can to see what is best and can to make their decision on the best ideas without any fake news, without any, just with the nature and the reduction of climate gas in mind. So let me end with a few information about waste to energy in Europe. So you can see we have 504 waste to energy plants, and thermally treated are 101. Even here, there's a lot to do. And some ideas about our work. It's not only that we sample scientific information or case studies, we also ask famous or good experts to make a recommendation in energy recovery, in final sink, or in tax instrument. This man was responsible for the waste management of Munich, and maybe you heard about it. This is the Oktoberfest. This is the greatest fair all over the world. 6 million people coming for two and a half weeks together, drinking beer and such things. And from 1991, I guess, they decided not to use any plastic dishes, just real good ones, and they have to wash it. And this is, for me, this is one of the best recommendations, that he not only tells the people, hey, do it, but he can tell the people, we have done it in 1991. So let's come to the end. We bundle our arguments in WTR.net. You all are welcome, and argue with a scientific mind and a brave heart. And this picture I love because this is the merging of information which flies away like these birds and become a figure, become useful. So many thanks for your attention.